Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Ollie Show, where we will have special guests, hot topics, and unexpected surprises. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Ollie Show. Today, I'd like to invite you to open your hearts and clear your minds as we dive into our topic. Today, we're going to be having a discussion on what it takes to be successful. And I've invited several special guests here on today that's going to really share with us about their lives and how they got started and where they are as of right now. So, without any further delay, put your hands together and help me welcome to the stage our first guest, Steve Stone.
How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. So how you been?
Great.
That's
Great.
good. That's good. And so I asked you about coming here to be on a part of the show because, you know, I've only known you for, I guess, maybe about a year and a half, almost 2 years, something like that.
That's right, yeah.
And you have multiple different businesses that you've been able to get started with. And every time I talk to you, you're always telling me, yeah, you know what, I got this business. And I was like, you know, Steve is what we classify as a true entrepreneur. I mean, he's it's like a true entrepreneur, working for yourself, not really having to work for answer to, I will just say, you know, as far as that clock in and out, answer to, you know, above person, a boss. So just tell me a little bit as far as, we'll just say, what was your childhood really like?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, let's start from there.
Yeah, so that really has defined my trajectory on success. You know, I grew up in a low-income family,
Okay.
and I knew from the start that no one was ever going to give me anything.
Okay.
You know, my dad worked really hard, and I had a lot of respect for that, but he worked really hard.
Yeah.
It never really got anywhere. So I just, you know, I developed a sort of a mantra that I've carried with me through life, you know, 3 basic tenets that have carried me towards success. One of those is curiosity.
Okay.
I've always wanted to learn. Even today, I constantly consume anything I can, you know, as far as technology or cryptocurrency, as you and I have talked about, or digital marketing. You know, the other thing I've lived by is organization.
Okay.
You know, I'm a highly organized person. I manage my time, and you know, just really take an active stance on analyzing my self-productivity on a day or a weekly basis.
Did you do any college?
Yeah. I went 4 years of university, got a business degree, and you know, that sort of thing. And it's funny, as much as college prepared me, I suppose, for the real world.
Yeah.
The real world, I mean, my education didn't start until I got out of college. You know, just connecting with people, you know, connecting with different business people, and just learning.
So are you saying that a lot of the things that you learned in college is not pertaining to anything that you're really working in and doing as of right now?
Well, that's true. I mean, you get a foundation for academics. You know, you learn literature, the classics, you learn statistics, you learn accounting. You get a foundation of how things operate.
Okay.
But to be successful, there has to be something within you that takes advantage of that base.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to give it to you, or at least from where I came from, no one was going to give it to you. You know, a lot of people have better advantages, you know, and they don't have to work as hard. But I, unfortunately, that wasn't my path. But, you know, we were talking about 3 things, and I think the third tenet that I've lived by is just perseverance. Because I've never been afraid to fail.
Okay.
And I've failed big,
Yeah.
to the point where I've done well and almost lost everything.
Really?
And yeah, and you just push through and make it, and you know, just continue learning. You know, I remember, well, I don't know how far you want to go back, but the way
As far as you want.
yeah, my career started, as far as just being an inside salesperson, and I progressed to the point where I was director of operations and sales for North America for a British company that got bought by a German company.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine who's Iranian, who left when the Shah fell, his family did. He said, "Man, have you heard of this place, Dubai? It's there's so much going on in Dubai." So he and I took a vacation over there, and I started. There was a need for just different things, and one of the things that I had access to were automobiles. So we started buying cars out of Houston, these auctions, and loading them into containers and shipping them to Dubai. And I've just always been finding side hustles, and learning, and one thing has built on another, and even though I made some money doing that, I also lost a lot of money, because that was right about the time the 2008 housing collapse, and it hit the world equally, even over there, and it just, I'd over leveraged myself, and it was not good, so I had to pretty much start from scratch. Zero.
So you would say that was probably one of the biggest struggles, was when you felt like as if you was on, we'll just say, climbing, and then after that, then all of a sudden everything just shot you.
It did. It all came down, and I think I had a lot of pride too, in myself and in what I had accomplished.
How did your wife feel about all of that?
Well, it really, I mean, when you fail, you fail as a family, and it's tough. It's very tough. It took a toll on my marriage. It took a toll on my life. I, developed a lot of bad habits along the way of that. As far as anger and alcohol and some of those places. But I woke up and I finally had enough. And I can't tell my story without talking about God. I came to Christ at that time, and I really started to do things differently. In look outside of myself. It wasn't me that was accomplishing these things. God gives us all these gifts, and whether we want to take advantage of them or not, that's up to us. But anyway, I just slowly rebuilt, and one thing led to another. I won't say lucky. I got into cryptocurrency because of that curiosity. And was able to build some wealth through that. And my wife and I, we are manufacturers reps. So I think I've talked to you about that. We work for about a dozen manufacturers, and we sell engineering equipment into schools, colleges, universities, high schools, and for career technology. And that's a good industry to be in. I do digital marketing, which is how you and I met.
Right.
With the book and the television show. And so I had started a business a few years ago, or several years ago, and it's just like I was hiring all this work done in marketing, and people were bringing me garbage. I just wasn't happy with it, So I just took it upon myself to learn Corel, a lot of these tools and design, and you know what you like when you see it, and it's like, that's what I want. I don't want that. So I started designing that, and I learned about SEO. I learned about web design. I learned about, and I'd taken marketing. I've always been a student of art. I love art. So I've always been creative in that capacity. And then I just kind of married that with the digital, and I've been able to develop a nice little niche side hustle with that.
So how many businesses would you say that you actively have as of now?
Well, I'm doing 3 actively, I guess, if you count the crypto. I'm staking nodes and, doing some passive income stuff through that. And then I'm working on another business now in augmented reality. So that's really starting to take a lot of my interest and my focus. I'm really excited about that technology and where it's going to go in the future, and it's forecast to be a $20 billion industry. So
Which one would you say is your most successful business?
The most consistently stable, it's probably the education stuff, selling that equipment. because it's a bread and butter, cash flow. It's a solid foundation. It's an industry I've been in for 20 years, so I know it really well.
Yeah.
It's been very stable, and I would say the crypto. I mean, it's the financial system, the operating system for the future, in my opinion.
And so with where you are and everything that you've done, you would say that you're set up pretty much, you could retire at some point. I mean,
Well,
really.
yeah, I hope.
I mean, when you talk about crypto and you're saying it like as if that, I mean, that has really kind of set you up for a long term. You're at a point now where you're making over 6 figures every year, right?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Easily over 6 figures a year.
Retire, what does that mean? I mean, I feel like now I'm retired. In a
Oh, okay.
sense.
Okay.
Because I define success by one thing, and I always have. When I can take ownership of my time, that's when I will have success. And that's what I've been able to do. And I will never stop working.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ever.
So that's
I love to work. I really do.
that's great. So when we come back, I have another guest who's an entrepreneur as well. I'm going to bring him out. He's going to share some information. I want all of us to be able to collab.
Cool.
And I thank you for just sharing what you've already started out with.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they want to be entrepreneurs, and a lot of them don't know how to get started. So I want to talk just a little bit maybe on that right there. But let's go ahead and take a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll move and start from there.
Fantastic.
Welcome back once again. So we have been having a discussion about what it really takes to be successful. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are tuning in and that have been watching and really wanting to be able to launch businesses. And I've been talking with Steve, and he's been sharing a lot of valuable information with me about what he did and how he got his start and how it's gotten him to where he is as of now. I have another guest that I want to bring out, and I want him to be able to share his story. So let's give it up for Jerome. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing great. How you?
I've been doing good. And so, you're Mr. Jerome Jones. You have a business. I believe it's what, Jones?
The Jones Experience.
The Jones
Studio.
Experience.
Yeah.
So, what really pushed you to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, as far as the salon thing, it started early. That was just one of the gifts that I had, and just fell in love with it. And so over a period of time, I went to, through the whole process of going to barber college and all those things. And then I think it was probably about 10 years later that opening up the salon.
So would you say that you always have had a desire to do this from like childhood all the way up, or was it something that you really had a desire once you got grown?
No, I mean, I always had the desire. I started off young doing it.
Okay.
And so I think I was in my early teens when I started. And so that was something that I was interested in. I loved it. I used to cut my family members' hair. And so it was just something that, I just loved to do.
What was your life like as a young person, teenager, coming all the way up? I mean, as far as just life experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up with in a middle class home. Okay. I had working parents, hard working parents, and so that's how it started for me. Just hard work. Okay. And so that was the the foundation for us just growing up. It's just a hard foundation of working hard for whatever you want and whatever you want to do.
Okay. So how many businesses do you have as of now?
Currently, I mean, I'm involved in a couple of things, but I have my salons as well as a clothing and shoe business. Okay. And I just embarked in like real estate, the home builders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real estate. So what made you want to go in that direction? That's totally it's like a whole nother field compared to what you've been doing.
Right, and that's something that, again, it was inspired through my father, something that he once did. And then I think just business alone, it's all about relationships. And so one of my business partners that I had with my salon was into it. He was
already in real estate?
He was already in real estate. He was building homes at that time. And so it was just one of those things that he introduced to me, just like, was I interested in doing it? And I had been interested, and I'm just kind of, just all about timing. And so that's how it happened.
Okay. Did you deal with any major struggles along the way with this? I mean, any failures, anything that could be setbacks that might could help somebody else that's watching this?
Yeah, I think just with being an entrepreneur, period, you're dealt with different things that happen. And so it's all about how you go about handling those things. And so, yeah, of course, I'm dealing with things right now. I have a salon right now and in a particular area that's not doing as well. So now I got to come up with other things or another solution in order to get it back up and going, or I might have to come up with something else. But just,
you mean like as far as it possibly just closing the door?
Maybe even just closing and moving into another direction and going into another direction with it.
Another direction with it. And you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. I think one of the biggest things, I listened to what you stated, Steve, and also I listened to what you said, Jerome. I think one of the biggest things for people when they are looking to be able to start businesses, there's so many out there that want to do it. I don't know if you guys hear about it. How often do you talk to people that might want to start businesses and it's like, how do I do that right there? Or maybe let's say they started talking about it a while back and they're still considering it but haven't moved forward. Do you ever experience that, Steve?
Oh, I do, yeah, from time to time. I've seen, a lot of people want to take that course of action. For whatever reason, they fail, disorganization, work ethic. Mm-hmm. A lot of people build their life around the structure of an office or a management structure.
Yeah.
And they can't really motivate themselves to do the things that you have to accomplish as an entrepreneur. I think you would agree. Yeah. No one's going to tell you got to be at work at 8 o'clock. No one's going to tell you you've got to work till 8 o'clock in the evening. Mm-hmm. You've just got to have that motivation to manage your time and your performance. Yeah. It's just like, as Jerome was saying, he may have to close the salon, or rethink strategy. Right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that falls on you as the individual, because no one is really telling you to
get up,
take that course of action and change. You have to be the change.
Right, and that's so true, because there's no blueprint to entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's end all be all. There's no other way to it. And so, through that, you deal with failures, just in business alone. So it's tough, but it's things that sometimes people that work can't understand. Mm-hmm. And so it's just one of those things, like you just carry it all on yourself, like kind of like a burden that, and you carry it, because a lot of times, people outside of entrepreneurship don't understand it. Yeah.
So Jerome is probably very organized. You have to be very detail oriented. To go back to what you said about, just success in general. I see a lot of people that just want to be in business. They want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. They don't have a plan. They don't really put the framework there to be successful. They may have an idea, but that is just really a tenth of everything that goes with, bringing something to market or creating a certain level of success with an idea.
Yeah, so true. And so, Jerome, how many businesses did you say that you actually have?
So at the time, I have 2 salons.
2 salons, okay.
I have the clothing company.
Okay.
And now I have the real estate one.
So altogether 4 businesses, and as far as just one of the salons, that's the one that you're saying that's possibly doing. Yeah. It may be going in a different direction.
Right.
And so you would still possibly have the 3 that would still be doing pretty fair as of right now. And I think even with that, you could be in a position where, I don't know if you're fearing that a whole lot. Are you fearing as far as with that?
No, that's challenges that come along with entrepreneurship.
Right.
I'm not afraid of it. Like I said, I didn't fail before. I've been faced with many challenges, and you will be faced with many challenges. The thing about it is, no one else could do it for you.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, whether you're faced with that in the morning and you come right back that next morning, you're still faced with it. So
Right.
you got to come up with something to correct it.
So did you say that you have had other people to come up? I believe that's where I was going with the story, with people that want to be able to know how you've done what you've done, and maybe mentorship or anything like that?
And I offer mentorship, and a lot of times with the salon thing, I have a lot of people that reach out to me about ownership and by starting up. And I think in that particular field of work, I think success is the amount of success that you have individually is how you attract people, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's that influence that you have. So when you're successful, then you get influence, and the influence attract people to do the things that you want to do for your business, to build your business up, that ultimately builds theirs up, you know?
Okay, okay. So with both of you here, I appreciate you definitely coming just to be a part of the show, because so many people as entrepreneurs, they don't want to share. I mean, and it could be for multiple reasons. Maybe, hey, business is not really going super great. And I've seen some that where it has been going great and they just don't want to be able to give those secrets. So that's a big thing to me. What would you say one of the key secrets would be that you could leave as far as with our people?
Don't be afraid to fail. You know, take risk. You know, be bold. Yeah, but take calculated risk. You know, senseless risk is not smart.
Yeah.
Take calculated risk. You know.
What about you, Jerome?
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. And also I think you have to have core individuals that understand and know you as a person, understand business.
Yeah.
That at times that maybe if you don't understand things that you can speak with.
Yes.
You know, you could talk with and identify with. And so, I mean, leadership is the key to success,
Yeah.
especially with businesses. And the kind that I work with, people individually of all different walks of life. So you have to, it starts with leadership. So you have to have leadership skills. You have to be able to have people in place that understand, you know, understand what you're going through, understand what you're trying to do in order to carry it out.
Yeah. That's good. That's really, really good. Okay, so I have enjoyed our conversation to the most with everything that both of you have stated and said, but we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break as of right now. And when we come back, then we will conclude and we'll have a couple more questions and I will let you go. But we'll be back right after this. Welcome back once again. So we've been talking about just what it takes to be successful. And I want to ask you the question first, Jerome. Then after that, then we'll conclude with Steve. But I want you to define success, just in your own words.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Success is personal. You know, it's your own personal beliefs, your own personal accolades. It's not compared to anyone else.
Yeah.
And so it all stems with a purpose of what you want to do, what you're trying to do, and at the end of the day, it's about finding or having a desire to solve a problem, and so and help, you know. And so when you get to that point where you have something where you can help and solve a problem, then I think that's success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you think?
Well, for me, success is always been taking ownership of my time and being able to just have, you know, a relatively comfortable life, you know.
Yeah.
Have money in the bank, not live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
You know, just have that level of comfort and be able to define the direction of my life as far as wanting to, you know, as Jerome's involved with a few businesses, if you see an opportunity, be able to take it. You know, just having that freedom that success offers you or awards you from your hard work.
So two different answers from both of you, but both of them very, very impactful, very meaningful. So when I look at as far as success, I view it same as what you guys have said, but I see it, I guess, maybe so much more, just because to me, it means a whole lot. I mean, it really does, to be in a position where, like you said, we don't have to worry or have, there's a lot of people that was getting laid off, especially like when the pandemic set in, and it was a lot of people that was trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to do? And just to be in a state, like you said, it's just a peace of mind almost. It's almost like how the people, when they talk about insurance policies and they talk about, as far as, hey, you got that peace of mind if somebody passes away. This right here has so much that we could just continue to be able to elaborate on, that puts us in a place where we have that peace of mind. And so I want to ask you, what would you leave with our guest if we were to just say some words? I mean, picture you're talking to everyone as far as the nation. What would be some final words that you would leave with upcoming entrepreneurs? Everybody, they say just as many businesses that are closing in a day, there are businesses that are opening. What would you leave with people that are looking to be able to open a business and say, hey, I want to do this. I want to put my foot in the water and I want to go with it?
For me, just start with hard work.
Okay.
Knowing what you want to do.
Okay.
Staying focused on it. Having a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to have people that can help you carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
And just stay the course.
Okay.
Stay the course.
And Steve?
Yeah, great question. So, how I would respond to that would be, God has given us all gifts. There are things that interest us,
Mm-hmm.
things that we're good at. Develop a curiosity about it, and take a risk with it.
Yeah.
Like for you with the talk show,
Yeah.
with Jerome building, with me, some of this augmented reality, we're all just learning and developing and taking a risk and just be bold.
Like you said, it's not so much that we're gambling.
Yeah, no.
but at the same time.
But you're equipped. You have an interest and you can do it. You
Yeah.
just have to direct yourself and focus your energy.
Okay. I appreciate it. And I want to thank both of you for coming out here and just being a part of the show on today. You've shared your life stories, valuable information that I think that's going to help a lot of other people. Some of the things that I didn't even know about you, and we talk pretty much maybe once a week on a regular basis. And even with the things that you've shared, Jerome, it's been very informative. So I want to thank everyone just for tuning in and just taking a look, watching the show, and just getting the takeaways that both of these gentlemen have brought to us. I want you to take away, if nothing else, just remember, I want to push, don't quit, never stop. If you have a desire to be able to pursue something, come up with your plan, and then after that, then put a strategy to be able to be together, so that way that you can be able to execute it. Until next time, let's talk, let's listen, let's continue to love. Thank you, and God bless.